Have you ever left a long day at the office feeling completely drained, not just tired, but emotionally exhausted, like your social battery has been completely fried? And then, as you sit in your car or on the train home, you start replaying all the interactions you had that day, wondering if you said the wrong thing, if you came across as awkward, or if you missed an opportunity to speak up when you should have. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. A lot of introverts, especially in fast-paced, extroverted work environments, struggle with this exact feeling. The truth is, being an introvert in the corporate world isn't a weakness. In fact, introverts bring incredible strengths to the table: deep thinking, active listening, and the ability to work independently. But there are some common career mistakes that introverts tend to make, mistakes that hold them back from advancing, getting recognized, or even just feeling confident at work. Today, we're going to talk about the 3 worst career mistakes introverts make, and, more importantly, how to avoid them. These aren't just vague tips, they're real, practical strategies that you can start using today to make your work life easier and more rewarding. So let's jump into the first big mistake: staying silent when you should speak up. Now, I get it, speaking up in meetings, pitching ideas, or even just contributing to small talk can feel like climbing a mountain. Maybe you've told yourself, I'll just let the louder people take the lead, or I don't want to say something stupid, so I'll keep quiet. But here's the problem: when you stay silent too often, people start to assume you don't have anything to contribute. And before you know it, you're being passed over for promotions, left out of key projects, or even labeled as not leadership material, all because you didn't show them what you're capable of. So how do you fix this without forcing yourself to become someone you're not? The key is preparation. Introverts thrive when they have time to think, so use that to your advantage. Before a meeting, review the agenda and jot down a few thoughts or questions you might want to bring up. Even if you only say one thing, that's enough to show you're engaged. Another trick? Frame your contributions as questions if direct statements feel too bold. Instead of saying, "We should change the marketing strategy," try, "Have we considered trying X approach for the marketing strategy?" It's a softer entry point that still gets your ideas across. And here's something else to remember: you don't have to be the loudest voice in the room to be heard. Sometimes, the most impactful thing you can do is speak last. Let the extroverts bounce ideas around first, then step in with a well-thought-out perspective. People will notice the difference. Now, let's talk about the second mistake, one that might surprise you. The second big mistake introverts make? Avoiding networking because it feels fake. I hear this all the time: "I hate networking. It feels so forced and inauthentic." And yeah, if you think of networking as schmoozing at happy hours, handing out business cards like you're in some bad movie about corporate America, I don't blame you for hating it. But here's the thing: networking doesn't have to be that way. At its core, networking is just about building relationships. And introverts are great at one-on-one connections. The problem isn't networking itself, it's how we've been taught to do it. So instead of forcing yourself to go to big, noisy events where you'll feel overwhelmed, try a different approach. Start small. Reach out to one person in your company or industry whose work you admire and ask them for a quick coffee chat or a virtual meeting. Keep it casual: "Hey, I really liked your presentation last week. Would you be open to chatting for 15 minutes about how you put it together?" Most people are flattered to be asked, and you'll have a much more meaningful conversation than you ever would in a crowded room. Another tip? Think of networking as giving, not just taking. Instead of going into conversations thinking, "What can this person do for me?" ask yourself, "How can I help them?" Maybe you share an article they'd find useful, or you connect them with someone else in your network. When you focus on being genuinely helpful, the pressure to perform disappears. Now, let's move to the third mistake, one that's especially dangerous because it's so easy to fall into without realizing it. Mistake number 3, waiting to be noticed instead of advocating for yourself. Introverts often believe that if they just work hard enough, someone will eventually recognize their efforts and reward them. But here's the hard truth: that rarely happens. In most workplaces, people are too busy with their own tasks to notice everything you're doing. If you don't speak up about your accomplishments, no one will. This doesn't mean you have to brag or become pushy. It just means you need to get comfortable with strategic self-promotion. For example, instead of hoping your boss notices the report you stayed late to finish, send a quick email, "Just wanted to share the final version of the report. I included some new data analysis that I think could really help with next quarter's strategy." Simple, professional, and effective. Another way to advocate for yourself? Keep a brag file, a document where you jot down your wins, big or small. Did you solve a problem, streamline a process, or get positive feedback from a client? Write it down. When it's time for performance reviews or salary negotiations, you'll have a clear record of your contributions. Now, let's bring it all together. So let's recap the 3 big mistakes we've talked about. 1. Staying silent when you should speak up. Use preparation to your advantage, and remember that one thoughtful contribution is better than none. 2. Avoiding networking because it feels fake. Reframe networking as one-on-one relationship building, and focus on being helpful. 3. Waiting to be noticed instead of advocating for yourself. Practice strategic self-promotion and keep track of your wins. If you're an introvert, these might feel uncomfortable at first. And that's okay. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. But here's the good news: you don't have to change who you are to succeed. You just need to work with your natural strengths instead of against them. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these mistakes do you relate to the most? Have you found other strategies that work for you as an introvert? Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. And if this video helped you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Remember, being an introvert isn't a disadvantage, it's a unique strength. You've got this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.